YouTube, what's up? This is your boy DJ Troy in the building. I'm on my way to making that paper. It's all good. Alright, so let's get into the trending topics of what's happening in the celebrity, in politics, and in a whole lot of other worlds. Okay, so it's gonna be a long video. So I'm gonna try to make it as interesting as possible. Then I'm gonna try to edit it in a way that makes it look a little bit cool instead of, you know, just the same old talking and, you know, just going back and forth. All right, so let's go. Well, one of the biggest story that came out yesterday was the fact that Vivica Fox insinuated that 50 Cent was gay. Okay? So what happened was that Vivica Fox was on this television program, Andy Cohen, and she was there talking about, you know, Empire, and Andy Cohen basically said, well, Empire ratings have gone down because there's a lot of gay activity on the show. And Vivica Fox responded, 50 Cent said that? And she was like, Vivica Fox responded, how can you call a kettle black? And you're black yourself. What that statement basically means is that how can 50 Cent talk about people being gay and he is gay himself? Okay? Not to say that she said he was actually gay, but she just throws shades. Major shades. She even brought up the fact that Soulja Boy and 50 Cent was on a magazine cover and 50 Cent was hugging Soulja Boy, and it just looked wrong. So of course 50 Cent, being the killer that he is, being the person that gotta win and gotta always come out on top, came back hardcore on Vivica Fox. Okay? He said to Vivica Fox basically, how in the God's green earth you could talk about being gay and you were the one that begged me to eat my ass. It was just like, what in the world? This was just like, oh man, this is not even for TV. This was just raw. Okay? Then Soulja Boy responded saying that Vivica Fox, if you need a cougar, you know, dial 1-800-COUGAR or something like that. It was just crazy. Vivica Fox apologized to Soulja Boy, but she has yet apologized to 50 Cent. And I could understand why. Because that was just a shot under the belt. That was just like, wow, how can you tell a person about that? And Charlemagne from Power 105 FM, Power 105.1 FM, gave Vivica Fox Donkey of the Day, basically saying that any girl that decides that she's gonna put her mouth on a man's bottom has nothing to say, because that is the lowest of the low. People, to me, this is just crazy talk. Okay? So it is what it is. Moving on to 50 Cent now. 50 Cent also too, I think he was performing in Ireland or one of those European countries, and he basically brought up the fact that Drake beat Meek Mills in the battle. Okay? Basically saying that Meek Mills started the war, you know, in the lunchroom, and Drake just came up and just slapped the hell out of him. And that was it. He couldn't have done anything else. And, you know, it's basically the truth, you know what I mean? I haven't really been able to talk about the Drake and Meek Mill's beef because, frankly, I just had a lot of issues and I had to take care of my issues, you know what I mean? It is what it is, you know what I mean? But Meek Mills is my rapper, you know what I mean? You will forever be one of the hardest rappers. There's nothing that you could take away from Meek Mills, okay? But when he picked a war with Drake, and Drake came back so hardcore instead and just killed it lyrically, you're like, wow. You know what I'm saying? You're like, wow. Drake won this battle. Meek Mills still in these streets, still trying to diss Wale, because Wale is not Drake, and Wale and Meek Mills are still in the same camp. But I still don't understand how that's all working out, okay? You dissing somebody on your own camp, but regardless of what, it seems like it's gonna be one of the most historical rap battles ever. It's always gonna be spoken of how Meek Mills started a war with Drake, and Drake came back and slaughtered him lyrically. That's rap history of 2015. It's never gonna end. It's never gonna stop. It's gonna be used forever. You know what I'm saying? Drake won that one. Moving on to politics. As you guys probably heard, there was a uprising at Mizzou, University of Missouri, where a graduate student basically started a revolt against the school campus. This revolt basically started because the students are complaining that the administration basically neglected the fact that for many years there were issues of racial discrimination on campus. Basically, black students were subject to the N-word. There were SWAT stickers written on their dormitories. Some of them were getting beaten up and harassed at campus, but the school administration did not do anything to fix the situation. So one of the leading members of this revolt basically decided to starve himself, okay, for 7 days, so that the leadership could change. And eventually, the leadership, the school president, and the chancellor decided to give up their post and retire from their position, or just leave the job, or just quit the job. But at the end of the day, the revolt from the school's football team, which really helped, you know, because if the school football team, basically the school football team decided that they are not gonna play until the leadership of the university change. And that there was serious business, because if they did not play the upcoming game that's supposed to be this Sunday, the school would be fined $1 million. Okay, so people, money talk, BS walks. So I think when the people who worked at the university looked at the damage, they said, listen, Mr. President, Mr. Chancellor, you have to go. So it was a victory because, one, it showed that nonviolent protest still works. It shows that the power of the dollar still works. And it shows that racial discrimination is still going on. It hasn't changed, okay? On a personal note, one of my Facebook friends made a post yesterday stating that our child was crying to her. When she asked her why, she said that her white friend said that she cannot be friends with her anymore because she's of dark complexion, because she's black. And these are 9-year-olds. And this is what people are still teaching their kids as of 2015. Okay, so the race relations in America is still volatile. Racism is still existent. And as you could see, like I mentioned in my last story, 9 years old, Our friend said, listen, I cannot be friends with you anymore because my parents said that we are white and you're black. What do you tell your child? What do you say to your child? Okay? So it's a very serious thing that's happening. Now, moving on to stories involving kids. As you guys know, there's been a huge uproar in the sexting scandal. There is one critical thing that we need to talk about when it comes to kids. There has been a multiple of investigations of kids who have been exchanging photos with each other. And when I say kids, I mean individual under the age of 18. Okay? They have been exchanging photos. Now, if myself exchange a nude photo with my wife, that is okay. Once kids exchange photos with each other, those are criminal activity. Whether or not it's consensual, whether or not it's friendly, that is criminal. That means, people, that if your child exchange photos with his friend or her friend, that is criminal. Okay? These are laws that are antiquated, but these are laws that are still in effect. I'm not sure if you guys heard about the situation with these two young 16-year-olds in one state. They exchanged sexually explicit photos and they were dating. Okay? What happened is that the prosecutor decided to press criminal charges on these people. Now they're listed as sex offenders because they exchange pictures with each other, even though they're having intercourse and they're boyfriend and girlfriend and it's consensual. They were under 8.